Well, let's make some bruschetta. Can't pronounce it, but we can at least eat it. And this is a great thing to bring to a picnic or an outdoor party, or to have with those drinks out on the deck. And it's an unusual combination, and that's why I had to try it, because I had never thought of combining cherry tomatoes with strawberries. And I think what I like about it is that it adds this little kind of a mysterious sweetness to the bruschetta. So to do this, you're just going to cut up some strawberries, and strawberries are in season now, so it's a great time to make it. And just cut them into small cubes, and we're going to do almost equal parts of cherry tomatoes as well. So they're both red, they're going to blend together nicely. People are not going to say, what is that in your bruschetta? But the fact is that we're going to, I'm going to put a little more tomato in there, and you can do this according to your taste. We want it to macerate a little bit in order to get all the flavors. And I think one of the best things to add to any kind of a outdoor summer thing is some, I'm going to need a knife for this, is some good quality balsamic vinegar. And if you can get a pretty good quality one, which has a smoother, more mellow taste, it's a little sweeter. This is one of those 18-year-old ones, which of course I probably gonna have trouble opening up. We have to, let me do this. Okay, got it. All right, we're just gonna put about a teaspoon of this kind of syrupy balsamic vinegar in there. And you may have gone to those stores where they have you taste the different flavored ones, and they're just so delicious. It's hard to resist. And this is something that I use all the time. My basic salad dressing is made with 1 part of balsamic, 2 parts extra virgin olive oil, a little bit of fresh garlic, which we're going to use today as well, and usually a little bit of Dijon mustard. So I'm going to use a little bit of fresh garlic, and I pressed it earlier so it can mix with oxygen, because if you have garlic that is mixing with the air for at least 10 minutes, you're going to release the allicin, which is a very powerful phytonutrient that is in our garlic, and so it's going to give you more therapeutic benefits. Also, using raw garlic is a real benefit to people, especially anyone with problems with blood pressure. This is great for hearts. So I'm just going to mix that in. We're also going to add some salt. So we need to put a little salt in here, and that's going to draw out some of the juices. We don't want to overdo it, but a little salt totally balances the sweetness of the strawberries. And we want to put in some basil, and I have some fresh basil here. Something very easy to grow, even if you just have a patio garden, to just put in some basil. Put it in with your flowers, and then be able to snip it all summer long. So I'm going to throw in some of this basil. This is really wonderful stuff. It's remember, all of our herbs are contributing more than just a pretty face. They contain so many phytonutrients, and being a green, they have all of the things that are in our green leafies, which are things like folate, magnesium to help lower your blood pressure, help you sleep at night. We've got calcium, we've got iron in there, we've got all kinds of minerals, as well as antioxidants. So totally go wild with your herbs this summer. So I've got some of that in there, and then we're going to use a little black pepper, which is always nice. This can be omitted if you don't like pepper, but pepper just gives it kind of a pizzazz, so I always like to throw in a little bit of pepper. And now just a bit of olive oil. We don't need much olive oil in here. This is just a little tad here. And interestingly, the fat helps to release and help you absorb the fat-soluble vitamins that are in, like the beta carotene that's in the fruit, and tomatoes actually are a fruit, so we should include that in our discussion. And so that way we get maximal benefit nutritionally, as well as the kind of creaminess that oil adds to our food. Now, we would typically let this macerate for at least 15 minutes. So we'll pretend that 15 minutes has passed. And we're going to put the bruschetta on some toasted whole grain, if you can get it, a loaf of bread that you slice thinly, put in the oven for maybe 10 minutes on 375 with just a dab of olive oil. And so it's nice and very, very crispy. And now we're going to put some of our topping on it. And it looks really pretty. That's one thing, is it's very fresh. And I think fresh is just kind of the key word here. When we talk about food in the blue zones, the people there are eating fresh foods. There's no doubt about it. That is probably one of the things that is a hallmark of healthy eating, is the fact that the food is local and fresh and seasonal. So we're only going to have this time of year, which is another reason to indulge, because the strawberries will soon be out of season, and it's best to get them locally and in season. This is when they're going to have their highest nutrient content and also be at their ripest and most delicious. Less likely to have pesticides and herbicides containing them as well. So here we go. We've got 3 little bruschettas here. If you're using a large loaf of bread, you can cut them in half to make them a little bit more bite-sized. But as you can see, this is very pretty. We're putting a little feta cheese or some ricotta salata, which is a salty ricotta cheese that's also of the consistency of feta. My local store was out of the ricotta salata, so I am using feta, which is a lot easier to find. And so let's just taste this. Also, you can, let's see, before we go, I think that the basil really, really adds a lot to it. And so I'm just gonna kind of put a few extra basil leaves on top. We cut them in a very thin chiffonade so that they're a little more delicate looking, and it also is going to release more of the volatile oils, so you get more flavor that way. So this is gonna be crunchy. It could be a little messy, but I think you're gonna enjoy it. So enjoy. Yum. Very good. Just the right balance.